Here we go. Time to take a dab using a very scary piece of paraphernalia. Scary looking piece of paraphernalia. It's not scary itself. It's a nectar collector. So folks, if you're wondering what the fuck this is I'm using, it's a nectar collector. It's from Ohio, which I don't even think weed is legal in Ohio. I don't know. Maybe like in a medical capacity. I don't know. I have not researched the state of cannabis policy in Ohio, but um we're talking about Illinois cannabis today, and I'm joined by somebody I'm a huge fan of. I'd like to call a friend. We've only chatted a time or two though, so I don't want to overstep my bounds. KushNoKetchup, welcome to the Cole Memo. How you doing today, dude?
I am doing good, my man. How are you?
I'm doing good. I've been excited to reconnect with you. Um, I'm gonna plug really quick for folks that are watching the Cole Memo right now. I'm about to display your YouTube channel, and we're going to get right back to this. I'm just displaying it really quickly before I read our show intro so that, if you're listening to the Cole Memo, I'm about to tell you where you can watch the Cole Memo. But right now, if you are watching the Cole Memo, you can see KushNoKetchup on YouTube. You can see I'm subscribed to the channel. I've been a subscriber for quite a while, and you should too. He makes great content about cannabis, and I think it's really, he's one of my favorite content creators with regard to cannabis. So we'll get right back to that. I just want to say that, folks, you're listening to the Cole Memo. I'm your host, Cole Preston. Every episode is released in audio, video, and transcript. So if you want to find the transcript, audio, or video version of this episode or any episode, just look in the description of the episode you're listening to. Within that description, you can find a link that will take you to our website, which will display the transcript and where you can find this video in audio or video formats. So if you want to watch it, that's how you do it. Just click that link in the description. It'll take you to the video versions of this podcast. If you're unable to locate the episode description on whichever platform you're listening from, I get it, dude. I smoke weed too, and it's hard. Like all these different platforms, it's like, where the fuck is the episode description? So if you're having trouble finding the description, simply note the episode number and just go to thecolememo.com. From there, you can find the corresponding episode. I think this is going to be like episode number 23 or 24 or something. I don't know. I'm high. Don't trust my counting on it. But you would be able to look at the episode number, go to my website, and from there, you can find the video, audio, or transcript version. I'll just wrap this up really quick by saying that you can support our show by becoming a patron. Just go to thecolememo.com/Patreon. Once again, that's thecolememo.com/Patreon. It's a great way to support our show. It's only $3 a month, and it gives you exclusive access to our episodes as they release. But of course, one of the best ways to support our show is absolutely free. Subscribe to or follow the show, leave us a positive review, share it with your friends, your grandma, you name it. Your engagement and support is appreciated. Today is November 30th, 2023. And once again, I'm sitting here with my friend and somebody I'm a huge fan of, KushNoKetchup. Once again, dude, welcome back to the show. I say welcome back because you were on the Illinois podcast in the past. So,
Indeed. Well, I really got to
indeed.
appreciate that shout out, man. For real.
Well, hey, man, what I said, I really meant it. What I like about your content, I don't know. I think what you said last time is that you shoot on an iPhone, which is I've always found surprising because the quality of your videos, like I always feel like I'm just dropped into your life at whatever moment it's at. And I like your videos because of that, because you do some cuts, but for the most part, it seems like you set a shot, you sit down, you review your strain, and I don't know. There's something so real about how you shoot your content, and so I just wanted to tell you that. Like that's a reason why I love your content. It seems like there's this format on YouTube where it's like, "Hey y'all, how's it going?" And look, no disrespect to people that do this. Like there are really good content creators like that. You know what I mean? But you just have your own format, and I wanted to let you know that that's what I like about you.
That means a lot, especially as a creator, dude, because like you just kind of mentioned, I recognize a certain theme that had been occurring in certain cannabis content creators that were already like popping by the time that I even just started watching this sort of content on YouTube. I definitely have to give a shout out to Custom Grow 420. He was the very first um like actual weed tuber that I saw consuming product on YouTube. To me, it was literally revolutionary to see someone recording themselves using cannabis and posting it online. He definitely had that certain, hey, even kind of went viral for his like intro. And I simultaneously, had a disdain, but also an admiration for this dude's courage to just throw himself out there with his pretty out of this world personality. And I've definitely goodness gracious, I can be a little bit of a wild child myself, but I really appreciate you just noticing kind of like the structure of how I try to film and how I try to edit, where I um I really want to get better at it. I really want to just continue advancing the actual production quality of the videos that I'm making. And that's a real goal for myself moving forward here in 2024, because I am finally looking to upgrade from the iPhone and start taking the visuals to a new level. Not change, anything else, but I can't wait to start filming in 4K, something like that. Even just something simple, just to up the quality. But I really appreciate you noticing how I tried to format it, because you really do wonder if anybody does.
Yeah, and I do. And like I say, I was actually just about to pull up a video, just a quick and easy one, just to, I don't even know if it'll, I feel like it captures the vibe that I was talking about, but I'm just gonna kind of play it while I'm talking here. Um, I'm gonna mute the sound here, but dude, the production quality is great. It's crazy that this is on an iPhone. I the Zoom probably isn't doing it any justice. The Zoom call that we're on right now. But I just always love the feel of your videos. And I know this was a specific announcement video. Um, but but yeah, it's one of the main things I like. And yeah, I honestly, whenever I do shoot, I very usually I do my podcast via Zoom, but right now I'm running off straight iPhones, bro. Like I've got this iPhone in front of me right now. The screen's fucking
Mhm.
cracked. This is actually my best one.
Oh,
This
hell
has the
yeah, man.
best this has
That's
better,
what I like to see. You're
yeah,
being
this
used.
yeah, exactly. This has better quality than this new fucking iPhone that I got. Like I'm actually like kind of upset with the quality of this new iPhone. There's just something, it's just weird to say this old ass iPhone. Like I don't know, the picture just looks better. But like you, I would like to upgrade to, some 4K cameras and all that stuff. But we make
Most
with what we
definitely,
have,
man. I
right?
just yeah, I wanted to take a second to explain that I definitely don't come from a background of like video creation, but I came up around a lot of people who did, and who at a younger age were experimenting, whether that was taking a higher quality video camera, to a hardcore show in like the, late 2000s. Or I had, friends. I want to specifically shout out my friend Amanda Howe Tattoo. She's a tattoo artist now, but she came up doing portrait photography. And in regards to just shot creation, and I think some of those things that you did speak to, I would be ill. I would be in an ill mindset to not shout her out as a uh, almost an instructor in some ways of how to approach just lighting, camera positioning. And I think having a basis of seeing others around me, care a little bit more about their visuals, led into where when I started wanting to just review, you know, just some Illinois dispensary weed, there was almost no way I could go about it a different way besides caring about that. Um, just had to throw that out there that, picking up little things about the people around me, I think led to what the viewer sees on the YouTube creation. We all are like little pieces of like our friends and family, whether that's like a personality trait or just
Yeah.
like certain catchphrases. But from my father to Amanda, and then to my dear friend Rendell Smith, who now, dude, he's doing like music videos for like Gucci Mane and like Shiesty. It's insane. Like I had all these people, kind of hey, take the photo like this, sort of thing. If it's just me taking a photo of myself, I'm not even talking about cannabis or something like that. So
Hmm.
it is funny seeing now, almost getting close to 5 years doing the YouTube channel that, yeah, there's definitely been an effect from uh, the folks who I grew up with really caring about photos originally.
Right. I was gonna say the people you surround yourself with. Yeah, that definitely you pick up on those things. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool to hear about. And I just, one of the main reasons I brought you on, dude, honestly, just to kind of cut right to the chase, like I hope that I communicate this correctly, but because I like your content, I always bank on being able to, like, sometimes I'll just, if you noticed when I opened up your channel, like I haven't watched your last few videos, it's because I'm the type of person where it's like I'll sit down and stream them all in one go, you know what I mean? Like a afternoon smoking and chilling. And so I'll like kind of like build up my different favorite content creators and then just kind of binge their content Netflix style. And one of the, I don't remember exactly what happened, and you're probably past it at this point, but what I realized is that in many ways, sometimes I take my content creators for granted. And because you're one of my favorite ones, I remember there was this thing where you got like removed from YouTube for the bullshit reasons that people always get removed from YouTube. And I remember you talking about maybe giving it up. And that made me so sad because I was like, shit, dude, I took KushNoKetchup for granted. Like, am I ever going to see another KushNoKetchup again? And I don't know, man. Like I say, at this point you might be past it, and obviously you're making videos again, so you are. But yeah, I wanted to reach out to you because I know I've already kind of said it in a many different ways, but I wanted to say that more clearly too. I was like, shit, dude. I realized I almost took that for granted, you know? So I know that's a weird thought. I have trouble
Well, I really
communicating it,
appreciate that.
but
Nah, dude, I didn't think it was weird at all. I find that with video creation, it's gonna be a culmination of like balancing your own personal life with like a desire to continue just having this kind of side project, this
yeah.
like little chore always, like especially when it comes to editing, it's a chore. I don't
Oh
I
my
don't care what
God.
anyone says. If somebody tells me they enjoy editing, you need help.
Yeah.
But the point being that um I get such and also the only long felt impact from being completely demonetized on YouTube was really just overall views, where clearly the videos aren't going out as far as they were before. I'm about 50% reduction since getting demonetized just across the board. Of course, that's initially extremely frustrating, especially
Yeah.
when you're just getting started and everything. But for me, there is a structure to recording, editing, and overall reviewing cannabis that it keeps me in line. Almost like folks who just go to the gym and aren't trying to be like a bodybuilder. They go as like a stress reliever or just something that keeps them out of trouble, blah, blah, blah. I kind of keep myself, you know, on a straight and narrow with video creation. So it's one of those things where, damn, that really, really sucks that they've pretty much cut my views like that. But we ain't gonna stop. There's so much else that I value and get from the video creation that, I mean, at this point I've probably met like over like 20 fans in public at this point. And in regards to, any form of like, hey, I need some recognition that I'm making these videos, blah, blah, blah. Like I've gotten it, whether
Good.
that's, through reviews or just seeing people in real life that there's so much more, that I think a creator should value. Um, in fact, no, I'll just go ahead and say if you value that as a creator, you're doomed. Like you
Yeah.
got to just enjoy making videos. And I really do. And I can't wait to, like I said, increase the quality, increase the hardware that I used, and just have a more ease of editing. I'd like to just become even just way better at editing. As you can see, they are some longer takes, try to cut out some of the BS, but would like to throw some really cool visuals in there for the viewers.
Yeah. Again, though, that's actually what I like about your style. I like that it's not like cut. I don't know. There's a lot of people that do that, but and maybe you don't even mean to do it. And it's just something I thought it was, because you were just saying like you want to maybe try to change that. But again, that's one of the things I really like about Like it feels like you're getting a raw moment. Like, and I feel like I get to know you, if that
Hmm.
makes sense. So, um,
Yeah, I try to be as honest as possible on camera, even to just continue making the videos. I already knew outright if I had a forced fake personality, I might make it a few videos, but I wouldn't be able to do that long term.
yeah, yeah. And that does suck that I didn't realize that's what it was. I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember if they took you off all the way or if it was that they demonetized you. So you're saying they demonetized you?
Yeah, yeah, like everybody else, doing cannabis. I kind of felt that I had slipped under the radar at some point. But I think around 2,000 subscribers, they fully demonetized me. And really the only felt effects is, yeah, I get about half the views now, but that's all right. Got my
Yeah,
subscribers, and as long as they can get my content, that's all I care about.
yeah. Have you ever thought about, or maybe you do this and maybe I missed it, but do you give your community or your supporters any direct way of like supporting you besides like subscribing and liking your content? Like I'm thinking of something like a Patreon or if you had like a Venmo or whatever so that people can send you money.
I did have a Patreon in the past that I since closed, and it's funny because I was about to say no, and I do have a Cash App. I think I've just completely forgot to even post that in my description anymore. So that
You
goes to
should,
show
man.
you where
Yeah.
I'm at in regards to the priority of receiving funds. Yeah, I do have a Cash App. I will definitely go back to posting it in the description. I can't believe I almost forgot about it.
Yeah, please do, dude. You know, people like me and I'm sure your fans would be willing to support you, not only like here, go and buy an eighth with this money. I want to, like type of thing, or here, use this for your whatever, use it for whatever. Or if you're trying to get, a new
Hmm.
camera or something, I'm sure people would be like myself, I'd be happy to throw in what I can, and I'm sure that other fans feel the same way. So yeah, give them an option. That's
Hell
one
yeah,
thing
man.
I had to do. Like people kept asking me that, like, and it's not like I want to be very clear. I do not make I spend more on this than I make, but it's nice that people are willing to like help me out a little bit because like, again, it's
For
not paying
sure.
for everything, but it helps, you know. So, um yeah. Anyways, I would hope I would love to see something like that with KushNoKetchup. If it's not a Patreon, just some way that we could all send you money and yeah, make it a part of your video, dude. Be like, hey, if you like my content, just because we want to support you. You know what I mean? We want to make sure that you're continue to make content, right? Because again, that's why I got real scared when
Absolutely.
I saw you make that announcement. I'm like, shit, am I ever going to see a KushNoKetchup video again? So, so yeah. Well, anyways, dude, you mentioned, and I don't want to get too personal or anything, but I did get a lot of good feedback from our last conversation where we were pretty candid about like mental health and stuff. You mentioned, that you're still in therapy and stuff. Everything good in that regard?
Yeah, yeah. I see a military specific therapist. So I'm definitely in a really blessed and catered situation, receiving mental health therapy through the Road Home program. It's a wonderful organization that provides free therapy care to returning veterans and their families. And yeah, I've been a part of. I've been with them for years, and I can't speak. It's pretty life changing in regards to the type of person I was. Coming home in 2013, and then here I am, 2023. It's really all up to them and the resources and support they've given me. But yeah, no, therapy's going well. It's been something that through my close family and friends, I've been encouraged and supported in taking things, even further in regards to really tackling a lot of issues that I've found uh, just through like TBI and everything that I have from my deployment. A lot of stuff that I still don't understand about signs and symptoms.
Traumatic
That is
brain injury? So
Yeah. I got rocked on our deployment on our first mission, and it was a pretty life-changing experience. And there's been a lot of um kind of like more physical side issues, in regards to like head pain and stuff like that that I'm really looking to get some better answers on through therapy and programs like this.
yeah. What did you I know I can rerun the tape and see what you said it was called, but what did you say that was called again? The program you're doing?
That would be the Road Home program.
Road Home program. The reason I ask is because my brother just got out of the service. If you remember the last time we spoke, he was just getting into the service. Um,
For
so
sure. And did you mention that? Did you say he was a Marine?
yep, he was a Marine. Yep.
For
So
sure.
and he left with some trauma as well. So the reason I ask is because I had never heard of that program. I don't know if he has. And so he's pursuing, his own therapy that we've been able to find. But it'd be, I just want him to consider all of his options. So
1,000%. He should definitely take a look into them as I previously mentioned, a obviously veteran focused
yeah,
therapy program that's they've really seen it all and handle folks coming from every part of the world and every form of background. And I think with just knowing you're going into a free and specialized form of care for a lot of guys coming home is reassuring. So definitely give him that info for sure. And like I said previously, man, if he needs anything, he can definitely holler at me.
absolutely. And he just started consuming cannabis, so I've recommended your content because I said, he's a fellow Marine. So
There you
um
go.
so
There you
yeah, I
go.
think you might have a fan in him soon. So but yeah, thank you for being willing to talk about that because I've got my side of it too, where it's like I've dealt with now my brother and then my own mental health, and I think it's good to be candid about these things, and just speak about them honestly and openly and without shame, because I think sometimes when people don't talk about it, that's what keeps people from pursuing it. You know what I mean? They get like, oh, this
Absolutely.
is only for fucked up people. I don't want to be considered fucked up. And it's like,
Yeah, even a guy like myself, I had folks around me who had seen some really serious direct combat, even in Iraq, while I was in high school and stuff, and were in charge of me in Afghanistan, that I consistently, had to battle a mindset of like, well, I mean, I didn't experience, what Sergeant so and so did. I shouldn't be going to therapy. A guy like him should. I mean, he's the one who, got a silver star or did this or he, blah blah blah. Where I'll tell you this, we're in the era of the digital screens era, where I think pretty much everyone, almost regardless of your occupation now, you're staring at a screen a solid portion of your day. Um, I'm not going to sit here and claim to be a health expert on the side effects of that, but I can certainly say for myself that I feel we all could use some mental health counseling in this age of constantly being on our phones, constantly having a almost fake reality of social media projected into our face all the time, and even just on the exposure to world news and events. I mean, I wake up and pop open Reddit and you're watching, conventional war in Europe in 4K, people dying on your screen like it's a video game. Just like, my God,
right,
you don't even really have to look for terrible content in regards to like disturbing content, whether that's Instagram or Reddit these days. That
right.
I'm kind of half laughing and stuff, but I truly mean it. Like the amount of like homicides that just pop up on my
I mean,
Instagram
dude, yeah.
daily.
Well, because back
I'm
in the
literally watching
day,
these terrible shootings and I'm like, dog, I didn't even search this. Like,
right,
what is
right.
happening? We could all use, if not a trip to a therapist, at least just a recognition that, like, I don't know if we're supposed to take in this much electronic negative stimulus each day. I don't think it's good for us. I think it influences how much road rage I see out there these days. Folks seem madder than hell over nothing, and I don't know. I think we could all use a breather.
Yeah. Well, it's like back in the day, you'd hear about horrible things that might be going on in the world, but you could only imagine. Now you don't have to imagine. Like you could literally watch like a FPV video of war in Ukraine, like if
A
first
thousand
person,
percent.
uh, for folks that were wondering what FPV is, first person video. It's crazy.
It's
And
absolutely nuts, man.
well, and to another point you made, I just feel like as humans, it's not that we shouldn't be worried about a community, but it's like Jesus fucking Christ, some of the stuff. And it's not that we don't need to worry about the things that are happening on the other side of the earth. I do not mean to say that at all, but I'm just saying, like, yeah, like you say, is it healthy to be plugged in and worried about the whole world all the time? Like it used to just be that you were worried about your local communities or whatever. Like, oh, we need to find a new water source. And that, not that that's not a fucking really complicated thing to figure out, but it's like you were just focused on the local thing. Now it's like we're focused on not only trying to focus on local, but global. It's just crazy. It's too much.
Yeah, man, I'm someone that firmly believes you can hear about something all day, but the second you really have to visually see it, I think there is a, even subconscious emotional response, even if you view a video of violence and you don't outright say, hey, that makes me sad, or hey, that makes me angry. I have found after viewing, a lot of world events content like that, I can just find myself a little tense, for a few hours after. And I just kind of have to ask myself, like, what is this? Did I drink too much coffee? I didn't even drink coffee today, but I did watch some really life altering, traumatizing for the people involved events. And from the comfort of my couch, just sitting here on an iPhone 11.
Right. Right. Yeah. And I mean, there's things like, you know, it's like the double-edged sword, on one hand you hear about things in the past, which I'm not very refined on history, so I'm not going to pretend to be, but like just from my layman perspective, um I I'm trying to think of like how to say this. So like in World War II, it's like when we figured out that the Nazis were like doing really bad stuff, like that's when it was like, oh, like we got to fucking figure that out. So like you'd think that like more access to information is like a better thing, but like in a weird way it almost like numbs you because we're so fucking like exposed to it. So just to kind of relate it back to that historical example that again I might be speaking way out of my league on, but like there was in the past few years, I say in the past few years, I think it was actually in the past like 5 years, 6 years, it's still going on, leaked like drone footage of Chinese detention camps, like where they're just running. I mean, it looks like concentration camps, except it's 2017, and it's like
Yeah.
that shit's still going on. And it's almost because like I feel like it's almost because there's just so much fucking going on that it's like, I don't know, some people listening right now might not be even aware that that's like a thing, but you can definitely YouTube footage of detention centers, in China, and it's just like a thing that's going on that's totally like normal. um you know
Yeah, I could definitely say there's about no piece of news I think you could throw my way that would truly shock me in the day and age of 2023 in regards to, breaking. Here's here's something terrible or insane that's happened. Um, I'm not sure how shocked, you could really make me with conjuring up a headline these days. It's
yeah.
pretty insane how real that numb effect that you spoke on is because I am. I don't even really uh check a daily amount of current or world events, and I feel pretty numbed out to the amount of terrible things.
Yeah. Well, on a it's not a lighter note, but just some crazy shit on the internet. I don't know why I even thought about this, but this is like maybe we can laugh about this a bit. You remember MH370, the airline that went missing? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
And it's just like a fucking mystery. Um,
1,000%. Yep.
so I remember that because I was in like this history class at the time, or it was like modern politics. I don't even fucking know, but we were talking about like current events, and that was like what we talked about for like I swear like a quarter of the fucking semester. Like, where's the fucking plane? Just because it was like the story of the time. We're just about to get into some fun conspiracy stuff because I wanted to switch gears from depressing things that are online. Apparently, this video that I'm about to show you came out shortly after that happened. And again, I'm just spouting off internet conspiracy bullshit right now because we're smoking weed and having fun. Apparently, nobody's really been able to like make heads or tails of if this video has been faked or not. In fact, there's this Kim.com guy, which I hear that people have different opinions on. So I don't even know. I just like know his name. I don't know anything about him. But apparently he like tweeted. He's like, I will give anybody $100,000 if they can just prove that this video is fake so that we can stop debating this. So apparently this footage, there's two videos that leaked shortly after this MH370 disappearance happened. And the reason I say that is because apparently that's compelling because since they were released shortly after, it's less likely that because this is such impressive footage that somebody like was able to CGI this, right? So really quick before I
Yeah.
play this video, have you heard of like the whole UAP talk, UFOs and all of that stuff? Um, like, are you at all
Oh,
caught
brother,
this
I
video?
know exactly what videos you're talking about right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I heard even the last I heard somebody tried to up that $100,000 bounty up to like a 145,000 just because they weren't getting any bites.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, I'm not gonna, but I gotta play this just for the.
This will be my first time actually watching these. I'm glad you're putting this on. Let me see
Yeah.
this.
So apparently on the left here, so again, what's happening for people, apparently this plane was off course. So and they I don't know. There's a lot of internet conspiracy stuff going on here. So like some of these details I'm saying could be wrong. I just want to be very clear about this, folks. Do your own research on this entire story. But some will ask, why are they filming this plane from two different angles? The left being a drone, the right being a satellite. Well, it's because the plane had diverted off course. And I think there was either high ranking military officials on board this plane and or really like classified material. I don't know. Again, this could be internet conspiracy stuff just to make this story sound more scary. But to people wondering why this plane is just being recorded, that's apparently the reason. Like shit was going down, so they were watching it, and this is what was on footage. So you'll see these objects surround the plane. There's two of them now. Oh, whoops. Damn it. This footage. Hopefully I've got the raw
There we
footage
go.
here. There we go. So it's the objects are coming. They surround the plane. They're like spinning around the plane. I hope to God this video doesn't end. Oh my gosh. This is such a fail. So here you can see in the back, sorry about all this stuff in the way. The plane is surrounded by these objects, and then oh my goodness, that fucking video sucked. That pissed.
And then Ancient Aliens.
And then yeah, that. I'm gonna find this clip really quick. The point is, it seems to just disappear. Like it just vanishes. And people are like, some people are saying it went into a wormhole and this and that. I don't know. Kush, no ketchup. What say you?
I remember when this first popped up just on the general sphere of the internet feels like a few months ago, the
Right.
initial videos and
Yep.
talks about this, of course I write it off. I'm just like, whatever, man. I'll tell you this. It's very entertaining that here we are several months later, money's on the table. And there's real talks about like, no, let's get this thing proven fake or false. With money being on the table, you have my attention now. You truly do. I can't wait to see, even just from a video perspective, if someone has edited this and has caught the world's attention, or if this is something else. But it's cool that someone has put some bread on it because that's what gets people moving and people talking, and that's real cool to see.
Yeah. Well, here is you can see the moment that we missed. There's a little bit of UFO splicing here, but here's the disappearing moment. Boom. See that?
Yeah, yeah. No, that's my first time finally seeing it.
Yeah. I can play it again one more time, but it's just kind of crazy to see. And so another piece of information, of course, this could all just be compelling internet. I'm going to say it one more time. This could just be, that internet conspiracy bullshit. But apparently people have
For
said
sure.
that on if you look up this old, and I'd like to see it, I actually saved a link to it. This old MH370 documentary. At the time, people didn't think much of it, but apparently there's this moment where a family member claims to have received, a few family members claimed to have received phone calls after the plane supposedly went down.
Yeah. Oh,
Right. I just
I
think,
can
like
feel
you
the
say, no
chills.
matter what, whatever this ends up being, I think it would be a killer movie. Even if it ends up being fake, it would be such a cool fucking movie. Like, think just so where'd the
Oh,
plane
dude,
go?
of course.
Like where did it go? Did they just teleport it somewhere else on Earth, or did it go to another dimension, or like what happened? You know what I mean?
A
It's crazy.
1000%. I'm very interested to see where that goes.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, I'm just bringing up silly stuff just to, you know, get get out of the crazy world news. But the reason I'm compelled by this is not only like you said, there's money on the table, but back when there were these UAP disclosures with the government and stuff. You remember they were being like real public about UAPs, which I was always like suspect, like it seemed weird. It seemed like a big
Mm-hmm.
PR thing. But I was like, I don't know, this is fucking interesting. Let's see what they say. But I remember there was the result of this like closed session hearing. So like, not to the public. And several politicians, including I think Rand Paul, which I think is a name a lot of people would be familiar with, and some other politicians, I think like Matt Gates is another name of somebody who they were quoted as saying what they saw was disturbing. And my thing is like, you've seen some of these other videos, right? Of UAPs. Are you like into the subject?
Oh, yeah. Especially coming from just my background of former military. A lot of the official disclosures is what's really caught my attention, that they're
Mm-hmm.
just being so open about it, just like you said.
Yeah. And my thing is, what could be disturbing? Because like when you see some of this footage where it's like, so like, have you seen the Tic Tac footage where it's on this like, I don't know, it's military tracking material that, from what I understand,
Yeah,
there's
the
no,
flare footage of it. Yep.
yes, that the FLIR footage. Yeah. Like as far as I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong if you know more about this, but there's nothing that we really know of that can get out of, like when you're locked on under FLIR, like you're locked, we're not gonna lose you, type of thing. And this thing just zooms off.
Yeah. I mean, in regards to the capabilities that we have with video and photo, they go far. They go far to not violate any clearance that I held. I only held a secret, but that's not even to be like, oh, he has a secret clearance and we're talking about UFOs. Everyone like has a secret. But just to say, to
Sure.
be ambiguous on the capabilities of the technology that I witnessed in the military in regards to video, yeah, we have very advanced video technologies. I would say the most compelling thing about that incident is that there is a 24-minute video and then there is the 3-minute video that was declassified and released. And for
Mm,
those who have seen and had been privy to see the 24-minute full video, their comments, because they're not obviously breaking NDA slash speaking on classified materials, but their comments about it have been pretty remarkable, of just saying the full video is very telling of what we're really dealing with in the 3-minute video. Some have said there's an entire fleet of these sort of objects that are on that video. That's literally all that is known. I just, from my standpoint, think it is very cool that there is much, much more footage of this event that the government has acknowledged. And hopefully one day we get to see it. Because regardless of what you think about this sort of stuff, it is interesting to see these videos, especially just, yeah, and it's gone.
yeah. And that's the point I was trying to make, folks. I mean, from what
Yeah,
I
it's
understand, if you're locked in like that is not, you can't, that it's going so fast. It's just,
the yeah, that pilot that is on the recording when he was brought onto, he's done a whole media tour of speaking on it.
yeah,
He said they tracked it go from 80,000 feet down to sea level in less than a second. Pretty wild.
yeah. And some of the movement I think that's exhibited in this video, that you're going to see it rotate a bit and then it's going to take off. It's crazy when this happens because this guy back in the day that a lot of people called a quack, Bob Lazar, he described it as a flying saucer, but one of the things he said was it doesn't fly like this in the cartoons. Before it takes off, it turns on its side. And it's just interesting because that's exactly what is exhibited in that footage.
Oh,
The,
that's
the
really cool.
the craft turns on its side and then zooms out, or at least in one of the pieces of footage I saw. But like you said, yes, I've heard to get back around to the point I was going to make is like I've heard of people, like you say, they describe it as extraordinary and, unlike anything we've ever seen, like you say, to probably keep the classification under wraps. But one thing that I recall, and maybe I can Google it just to make sure that I'm not just making this shit up off the top of my head, but I remember somebody saying something to the effect of what they saw was disturbing. And my thing is, and this is obviously part of the theory that I've read online, it's like, what else would be disturbing other than seeing a fucking airliner get abducted? You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like movements are that disturbing. I feel like that's like amazing, like you were saying. Like that's like, oh shit, you
Hmm.
know.
I agree.
But what's disturbing, you know?
I would say to reference something that has twice been confirmed. Apparently, every president that once they're voted in, inaugurated, all that, they get their initial briefing, where they are first, brought onto the, classified information that a president, is privy to. And two people have claimed to confirm that after Jimmy Carter got his, that he exited weeping from his briefing, and he's been known to be a very, just an in touch guy, the humanitarian president.
Mm-hmm.
For him to have that reaction, my honest guess is that this disturbing content that they're speaking to, I feel it has to do with the large question of origin of life slash are we alone,
It,
obviously.
right.
But I'm just trying to put emphasis on, I think for anyone, regardless of background, to even imagine being given any piece of information that could maybe question that, even question it, I think could just be really uh terrifying, for someone to
Sure.
go through. And it's always stuck off to me that people have claimed that President Carter's UFO briefing left him in tears. And then you bringing this up, I It's not that I have any reason to think that they're connected or anything like that. I've also asked myself that what could you be told or shown um, to not be excited or
Yeah.
have, emotions of wonder and looking towards the future. I would say if it severely impacted your view of the human story, I think no matter what they told you, it would be a gut punch.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. It could just change the way we see everything. You know what I mean? When you're like you like
Yeah.
see it's almost like seeing behind the curtain.
Yeah, there was there's it's always looked for like looked down upon when these guys like get out of the CIA and they, write books or become media personalities, but a piece of commentary I heard from one of these guys once that stuck out to me was his claims on the Roswell event, where he said, honestly, I feel at this point, if if just something from outer space crashed into the Earth that day, they just say it'd be out by now. And he said, even took it a step further and said, I even feel if there were the little green men, that we've always Hollywood envisioned within such crashed craft, that they'd probably reveal it and it would be declassified. What he said is his guess on the lock that our government still holds on that information would be that the what do they call it in that whole realm, the biologics or whatever. They don't even say like alien bodies or something, but
Yeah,
whatever.
non-human
Yeah, he said
intelligence. Yeah.
whatever they found in that craft, if it did contain the human genome, that would seal it. That if this phenomenon or if this, 1947 event was actually as that one guy, fuck, what was his name? Luis Elizondo, the guy who was like the former head of that UFO program, and now he's all
Mm.
public about it. He said, maybe don't even think about it as aliens, but think of it as mankind's. When he said that, and then I remembered what that one CIA dude said, I'm sitting there rocketing off edibles saying, good Lord, are they trying to say there's like human aliens out there or something? Because that was the first thing for even just my stoned brain to say, yeah, I think if they told old Jimmy that these aliens are us,
Right.
that might take him, that might be a tearjerker for a guy really connected, with his spirituality, with his, creator story. And yeah, just to bring it all back to what could they be told that would be labeled as disturbing? I don't know, man. If you told me the government came out and said, "Hey, by the way, those were some people from the future that crashed into that desert that day," I'd go, "Good God." Well, now you got a headline to catch my attention. Here I am
Right.
saying earlier you couldn't say anything to really grab me through a headline off of my phone. Yeah, that one would get me.
Hmm.
That one would grab my attention pretty quick. So that's my stone guess of what could these government officials be told about the UFO phenomenon that freaks them out. If it's people from the future, man, oh shit, y'all better hold on.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that would be kind of crazy now that you say that. It's like if you like were sat down like, "Hey, so you know how everybody talks about aliens, right?" We're like, "Yeah, yeah,
He's just like, got it, sir.
yeah." But it like, "Yeah, I know everybody talks about aliens." Right, right. So we're the aliens, just so you know.
He'd probably stop in his tracks with that one.
Right. I don't know, it's just kind of interesting. And I mean it feeds into other possible stoner bullshit I've read on the online where like Terrence McKenna with the stoned ape theory, where it's like, how did I don't know. Again, I'm talking way out of my pace, but people have described the change in brain size of, like from monkeys to humans to in the short amount of time span that it occurred to be like extraordinary, or as some people say, extraordinary. Uh, in other words, some people have hypothesized that maybe humans are the result of like sped up evolution, or like, you know, so maybe we aren't the aliens exactly, but maybe we're like a fucking science experiment they had. Because like, yeah, dude, wouldn't that be fucking fascinating if you had like an Earth and you could like think about how fascinating it must be to watch us, you know, the monkeys with the bombs that are shooting each other and shit. Like, probably a pretty fucking wild show to watch, you know?
1,000%, man. When you throw in those nuclear detonations and all this UFO culture starting within our country, but it's a pretty fascinating topic when you consider the size and power of those weapons, which I think that's something that we talk about and we just take for granted. We mentioned these megaton explosions that we set off, not really understanding truly. I mean, like if we want to be on some stoner brain stuff, when you look up some of these weapons that through various nations, from the 40s going on through the Cold War, tested on planet Earth, it's absolutely fucking insane. I mean, the US alone in their nuclear testing throughout the American desert, through, just destroying the Bikini Atoll, removing those people from their homes and just turning that into, I mean, like, as someone who's, you know, mortars, airstrikes, seen it all in training, this and that, these are pimples,
Mm-hmm.
pimples in comparison to these weapons that, decades upon decades ago, we were just popping around here. Like, I feel anyone listening should do themselves a favor and read up on the history of nuclear testing, even just on the American perspective. It's fucking insane how many of those things we popped off. I think growing up, you think, hey, there was some testing of this bomb. We were in this big war. We dropped two. The war's over. No, dog, this nuclear arms race is like one of the most insidious things, of global governments.
Yeah.
The, acquiring and just creation of these weapons is something from a fantasy novel when you really think about it. Just these single unit devices that would ruin, just ruin our environment for, I mean, centuries to come. And you go, oh, that's terrible. Well, how
Right.
many are there? Oh, good, dude. There's thousands. Be like, there's thousands. Well, how many people have them? Oh, dude, all over the world. And
Mm-hmm.
just be like, what? Are you serious? You guys are fucked. And be like, yeah, we are.
Yeah.
I think sometimes I probably smoke weed to just take my mind off of the nuclear arms race and the everlasting potential for a single country to just destroy the world. Like I said, from a fantasy novel, but it's real life, baby.
Yeah. And you know, some people might say that I have a drug abuse problem, but truly, that's one of that's one of the reasons I use to stay as high as I am, because I'm just like, dude, at any moment these motherfuckers could blow this off. I'd rather die high. I ain't dying sober, you
A
know.
1,000%. I am right there with you, Cole. Pack me a bowl for that.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to have you back on more often if you'd be down for it. It's cool to have just random chats like this, you know, smoke weed and be silly and talk about crazy shit on the internet. Maybe a little irresponsible, because I was trying to be responsible about this, folks. I made it very clear that you should do your own research to see whether or not this is real or fake. But very convincing, like you say. I mean, at this point, the government's acknowledging it. So, you know, back in the day, these
It's
people
pretty
were,
wild, man.
yeah, back in the day, this was just, you could just say, like, oh, these fucking stoners, they're just being high and talking about aliens. And like, that is true. We are just getting high and talking about aliens. But this is like some shit that
I
if
was
you've
one of
not,
those people. Yeah. I
yeah,
was
yeah,
absolutely one of those people being like, y'all need to just keep smoking your weed, but probably chill out. But Like
Can
I
I ask you
said,
that?
man,
What
you
what
got
was it that got you? Did you say it was the government, the official government briefings that are like legit that you read? Like what is it that you finally were like, shit, there's something to this, maybe?
so, you know, I have to shout out the legend, my homie for life, Justin. He has placed all of the like seeds of this sort of topic. I mean, since I met him when he was like he's 17, I'm 18. I mean, he's all about this topic. I'm constantly just, come on, dude, just chill out. Like, yeah, I'll hear it out. Okay, all right, all right. But I'm seriously, just I'm pretty much half humoring it. He'll throw some things in there. I'll go, well, that's pretty interesting. Or, yeah, that's a pretty crazy video. But God, this guy, he's so goofy. But then when you take this whole official government, announcement, disclosure, and now the whistleblower event with that David Grush guy, I mean, I'm looking back at some of the things my homie's been saying for like the last decade, and I'm looking over at him like, you son of a gun. Is some of this stuff real? I'm literally looking back at him like, were you really onto something this whole time?
Hmm.
And we're at that point now with these official government disclosures where I text him back all the time and go, you see this? Look what they're saying. It's they like I gotta give the props to him. He's the
Yeah,
first
dude.
person in my life to knock on that door and be like, you really ought to check this stuff out. And I just immediately turned it away. Like, come on, bro. You're
Yeah.
so because he's my guy. We're always goofing around. But now, I mean, I'm smiling ear to ear right now because he'd be cracking up if he heard this because I really am paying attention to this official, these hearings and what they're gonna do with this whistleblower amendment. It's actually really genuinely one of the most interesting topics to me right now. And I gotta shout him out, my homie Justin. He's the originator in my life of this.
That's awesome. That is so awesome, dude. Well, again, did you have fun today?
I was gonna say, man, if you invite me on a podcast and we're not getting at least a little silly and talking about some wild stuff we've seen on the internet, I think it's an opportunity missed. So I absolutely had fun and would love to come back.
Awesome. Well, folks, it's KushNoKetchup. We'll have the link in the podcast description. My friend, would you like to say anything before you go? I just wanted to give you the space because I know we plugged your stuff at the beginning. We talked about your stuff, and then we just got into like politics and aliens and all that stuff. Anything you wanted to say to the audience before we go?
Absolutely, man. I'm coming up on almost 5 years in this YouTube game, and I have to shout out some of my original viewers and supporters. I am lucky enough to do YouTube and still be connected internationally with folks all over the world. Shout out all my UK homies. I'm so blessed to have regular casual conversation with people all over the world, some who have been with the channel since before 1,000 subscribers. I have to shout them out in this moment. They're half the reason I still continue to make the videos and just want to put myself out there in regards to cannabis content. So shout out my day one folks and shout out my folks across the pond.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, I hope they enjoyed our conversation today. And folks, I sure did. I hope you all enjoyed this conversation today. Stay tuned for the next time KushNoKetchup and I catch up. And folks, just be well, stay well, take care of yourselves. As we mentioned, if you're a veteran, you can take care of the services that KushNoKetchup mentioned. And if not, there's what is it, BetterHelp, and there's options out there, folks. So if you need help, if you're struggling, don't wait until the last minute. Be proactive, get yourself some help, talk with somebody, and just be well. So take care, everybody. Bye.